What's up, Husker fans? I'm just going to do a quick little recap of the Michigan game, and then I'm going to do the preview for the Illinois game coming up on Friday. So let's get into Michigan. So we completely got our ass kicked. It didn't look pretty any phase of the game. We missed another field goal. They outpossessed us by 17 minutes, outgained us by 120 some yards, I think it was. J.J. McCarthy looked comfortable in all phases. We got no pressure on him. We got no push from our D-line. Obviously, not having Reimer there is tough, and losing Deshaun Singleton in that first quarter, hurts us in the secondary. Blake Corum, they didn't have one guy go over 100 yards rushing in that game, which is pretty big considering they have Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. J.J. McCarthy doesn't go over 200 yards passing, and they had long, methodical drives, and it killed our defense. We couldn't stop the run game. They got 4 yards a pop each time. They had 4 touchdowns of 20+ yards in that game, so we had a lot of missed assignments on the back end, and especially when you're not getting any pressure on J.J. McCarthy. He's gonna pick you apart because he's so quick, and he can move lateral. He can get out to the left, get out to the right. He can extend plays. Those off-schedule plays really killed us. He had 2 of those in the first half, and then he obviously has his rushing touchdown that goes for, I think, like 21, maybe it was a little longer. But, yeah, so it didn't look good in any phase of the game. Obviously, we start off rough, throwing the pick on the second play of the game, and then, our second possession, we drive it down the field. We, hit Billy Kemp on a slant that takes us 50 yards and then just stall out and don't get it on 4th and 1. It's tough to carry momentum in when you're down 21-0 just like that. And then after we stalled out and we were down 21-0, there was just no coming back from that. We're not a team that's going to be able to come back from 21-0 against a team like Michigan. Michigan is top 2 in the country, and ultimately, in my opinion, I think they're the best team in the country with just how they played. Obviously, the resume before us isn't great, but they've dominated everyone. They haven't really looked close. Like, they haven't played down to any competition. So they have the best O-line in the country. They have a great two-back system. J.J. McCarthy has looked phenomenal so far. They have a ton of depth. That's just an overall really good team. So we have to watch this game, take some things from it, and really just try to learn as much as we can. But I think, leading into this Illinois game now, there's some things that we can kind of take into this. I think we have to get pressure. We have to do some different things. We have to, call some blitzes, get some pressure in on Luke Ottmeyer. Through the season, he has 5 touchdowns, 7 picks. 7 picks is a lot through 5 games. He's a turnover machine so far. He doesn't have a ton of experience before the season, so he's trying to learn on the fly. The last 2 games for him has been a little better. He hasn't thrown an interception the last 2 games, but I think if we can kind of, rush his process up, I think we have a good enough secondary to cover their receivers. Their O-line has really struggled. They've allowed 18 sacks, so I think if we can kind of just get some pressure, call some different blitzes, mix some looks up, and just make him rush. If we can make him rush, I think we can make him make some really bad throws, make some really bad decisions. Their defense has not lived up to any of the hype coming in from last year. They're allowing 400 yards of total offense, 180 on the ground. I think that really plays into what we want to do offensively. I think we can run the ball on this team. It's just, can we convert third downs? We've really struggled in some games to convert third downs, and that's what's killed us. We need to get into these third and manageables and convert. I think Anthony Grant can get us going, and I think he's going to have 20 to 25 carries. Heinrich's going to have 15 to 20. I think Heinrich getting the experience of being able to throw the ball 25 times, and he didn't look bad throwing the ball against Michigan. So him getting the experience of kind of having to air it out a little bit more, I think is going to help him and help this offense understand that, hey, we are a running team. Let's stick to it. Let's be okay with the 2-3 yard gains and just kind of try to grind this game away. I think we can do that. I think ultimately we are a better team than Illinois. So they had two guys coming into the season on the D-line who were all preseason All-Americans. They haven't done a ton of things. I think they have 3.5 sacks between them. So I think we can win this game. We can grind it out. We should be able to run the ball. It's just, can we stay away from the mistakes? Can we get some push on the O-line to help us run the ball and get these first downs, get to the third and manageables, and can we get pressure on Luke Altmaier? I think if we can do those things, I think it's gonna be a gritty game. I don't think this is gonna be some offensive spectacle. It's the Big Ten West. It's the Big Ten. It's gonna be murky. It's gonna be ugly. So I think let's just play our game. Let's run the ball. Let's convert third downs. Let's play good special teams. We have to start hitting field goals. Our field goal kicker is 1 for 4 on the season, so that's not going to win us games. So if he can start hitting field goals when we get into those positions, I think we can grind this game out and get this win. And I think this game could ultimately change how we view this season after the bye week. Going into the bye week, 3-3 would look a ton better than 2-4. So if we can get this win, get some momentum going into the bye week, so then we can play Northwestern at home after the bye week and just keep moving on through this season and just keep getting better. So those are my keys. I think we have to get pressure. If we can get pressure, if we can run the ball, I think we'll be able to grind this game out. So that's all for me, and as always, go Big Red.